who?
It's fucking you old fossil. Fuck's sake, we're not getting anything done. Ah, for fuck's sake.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Welcome to Not the Friends You Put on Speaker.
The podcast at 70% chaos,
20% trauma bonding,
and 10% surprisingly good advice.
We're your hosts,
Belle,
and Peter.
serving messy stories
Loud opinions.
and the type of honesty that should probably come with a legal disclaimer. Right, let's fucking get into it. All right. Today, we're going to be talking about women in mining. You excited? Sweet. I'm excited for this one. This one's going to be real good. It's going to be some tea spilt, some good stories, some shit stories. I'm keen to get into it. What about you?
It's going to be real. So real. Yeah, I'm super pumped.
All right, let's get into it. So, how about we talk about what it was when we both started in the industry 16, 17 years ago and what it's like today, what the differences are. So for me, I remember when I was a trainee jumping in these old bangers, these Cat 789, I think they were A and B models. These old bangers, you know, with the big, like, I don't know whether you had them at where you were, but all of the buttons and everything were like this big cabinet, like next to you, like this big sort of island in between, and that's where all your switches and everything were, instead of all being on the front of the dash.
Yep.
Did you have them?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
so anyway, I remember it was a good day when you got in a truck and at the back of the passenger seat, there was a porno mag. That was a good fucking day.
Oh
Fuck,
my
I love that.
God.
Back in the day when one, there was porno magazines, because I don't think they exist anymore. And two, loved it. Gave you something to look at when you were driving around, hey? It was awesome.
Well, probably not when you're driving, but...
Do you know back in the day, you could have your phone. I was texting going up a ramp when I was on the dump, taking a phone call when I was like tipping off or going back to the digger. Like that was all allowed back then.
Pre-cameras, hey?
Yep, no cameras, none of the phone detection stuff, no dispatch or Mind Pro or, you know, all of that other stuff that you've got. Yeah, you're allowed your phone. I remember just, texting blokes on crew or whatever, like, hey, blah, 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 and having a chat. It was great. Now you can't do it.
Nah, totally different these days, hey?
Yeah, you get sacked for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't even take your phone into the pit on some sites, is that correct?
Yeah. So the site that I was at previously, it was a no phone site, and they used to just bundle up the phones. You could have them at the cribber, but you couldn't take them in the truck. And then I've also been at sites where you're allowed them in the truck to hook up to your music, but it had to be on airplane mode, which was great. It was amazing, but there was a few people that got caught out, got sacked because they were texting while driving and all of that. And obviously you have a camera watching you. But that was amazing because you didn't have to go and download your podcast or anything like that and stick them on a USB and have all that drama. Like literally it's there at your fingertips. And as long as it was on airplane mode, it was sweet. It made it so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you, Bill, when you first started in the industry? How many other females were on your crew? Tell me what that was like.
So it was me and another female. So back when I got a traineeship, I think they put on, I think it was 7 trainees a year. So you know how we spoke about that I didn't go through like a work pack or a program. I was, employed directly.
Yeah.
7 trainees a year. That's how hard it was to get into the industry compared to 50 a month some mining companies go through, you know what I mean? That one that we both worked at, pumping them through. Yeah. So it's not, not to downgrade anyone for getting in there. It's great that you got a traineeship and all that. But back 16 years ago, you were up against hundreds of people and there were 7 positions for that 1 year. So that's changed a lot. I don't know why they would have so many trainees coming on now as opposed to back then. I'm not too sure. Like, do you think that they've scaled up mining that they get more coal and move more dirt these days and need more machines? Or do you think
Yeah,
there's heaps of people leaving, or why do you think that is?
yeah, I think there's lots of reasons. I think, more people don't stay within the industry these days. Definitely the upscale of production at some pits, especially for me, like in New South Wales. That's what I know. Um, yeah, but definitely higher turnover.
Mm,
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. It's just different these days.
it is. So to answer your question, it was me and another female on crew. I think the crew, like on my side, because I had two different rosters. You know how I said that I did the day and afternoon shift, 8 hours. I think we had a crew of maybe 30, and there was only me and another Sheila on crew. So now you go into mining, and you've got, God, it's not half, but it's close to. I reckon it's like a quarter women, three-quarters males at the moment,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is good to see.
It is good to see, but I'm not going to say that I think it's the best thing in the world.
And why is
So
that?
I think when we spoke about you getting like they were at the quota with their loader skill, I think these days, there's a female quota that they
There
want to
is,
have. And sometimes I think the decisions that are made about the females that are being brought into the industry are not the right ones. So I think that you need to be a special type of female to be in the industry. And you know what? You need to be a special person that um, comes into the industry. But I think some females come in for the wrong reasons, um, and they give the good females a bad name, and sometimes
or
it's
they're
just not
tarred
good
with
at
the
all.
same brush. They don't
Yeah,
give them personally a bad name, but they're tarred with the same brush because they're female. Is that what
yeah,
you mean? Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's just different. When I started on my crew like 17 years ago, there was 4 females on crew,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was just different then. Like you were part of the crew. Last time I was in the mining industry, it just felt very. A lot of females think they have like more rights than the males.
In what way?
They just, I don't know, they come in there and they're flashing about and they're doing inappropriate things, and they're just not the right people for the industry.
Because they
Um,
were just there as a quota hire, pretty
that's
much.
exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
that
feel that,
concerns me.
yeah, it's pretty bad, and I understand and I totally agree with what you're saying. Do you feel like when we both started that it was a certain type of female that got the traineeships? Do you feel like it was like a sort of an attitude, or, I know back then it was like you had to be 21 to get a traineeship.
Yep.
You had to be on your green piece, not your red piece. Nowadays, you can be fresh 18 and have a traineeship on your red piece. So I know that that's changed as well.
Yeah, yeah, I think like when they're doing the hiring, they're just not looking at the bigger picture. I don't know. They just, I know women that go and do courses, they get road truck skills just so they can get in the industry. And then there's others that do nothing. They come from, a retail background or a background where you've never had to drive or operate a piece of machinery. And the first thing that I always used to ask a female when she got in the seat of that simulator, I was like, can you reverse a box trailer? Have you got a caravan? Do you have horses? You got a horse float? So I think that we need to be like basing our decisions on people that can, do some certain skills before they just come into the industry, because it
Yeah,
makes
right. Yeah.
makes them harder to train otherwise.
Yeah. But in saying that, I didn't know how to reverse a trailer, and never reversed a caravan in my life, but I can do it. You know what I mean? So I've reversed lighting plants and that, just winging it, and reversing my jet ski trailer at the moment, and it's not difficult. So I think that it does help, but it is different to driving a truck.
Yeah. And that comes down to that attitude when you talked about, oh, like someone with the right attitude. So your attitude would have been the thing that got you through,
Mm,
your ambitiousness.
my demandingness. Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. Um, yeah, so what do you what was it like for you? Did you used to have porno mags in the back of your truck where you started?
There was probably a couple of People magazines. No, when I started, I was contracted to a contractor that worked under a contract in the mine. So, we ran really small. There was only a few trucks. So it was a small group of people. And no, we didn't have anything like that. We used to swap out a lot in the trucks. So you'd only operate for a few hours and then someone would be swapping you out. So it wasn't like you were doing like the full 12 hours by yourself in the one truck.
Yeah.
And the trucks were well maintained and cleaned regularly. So, yeah, I didn't see any of that. I feel like I've experienced a bit more shelteredness compared to others in the industry, but I don't know whether that's because I've had my blinkers on or whatever. But yeah, that's just how I feel.
What age did you start in the mining industry? How old were you?
So I was like 31.
Yeah, radio, so a bit older demographic.
Yep.
Were you
Oh,
married?
yes.
Yeah, so that might have had something to do with it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Bit more
probably.
mature.
Fuck. You reckon?
Absolutely.
Oh.
So working in the industry as a female, Bill, with all those other males, how hard is it?
It's a lot easier these days. Like, I feel that women don't get what the women like me have been through and what we were subject to back in those days where, like I said, the rules were relaxed. There was porno magazines, it was nothing for a male to grab you on the ass when you walked past him in the crib hut or grab you on the tits or anything like that. They were all socially acceptable forms of banter, so to speak.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So, even to the point like our muster area where we were, where I first started, was in front of the male's bathhouse and they had those swinging doors.
Yeah.
You'd be standing in there waiting for your shift to start with like the boards to tell you what bit of gear you're on, and those doors would swing and you'd see naked men just standing there because they'd just gotten out of the showers. You'd see their dicks and stuff. That would never
Wow.
fly these days, you know what I
No
mean?
way.
Yeah, and a good story, there's a story I want to touch on to sort of give a bit of reference what I mean by what I just said. So, you know how I said that I started in the industry when I was an executive assistant and doing the project management sort of role for like shovel shutdowns and dragline shutdowns with the
Yep.
engineering company? So there's something that's always stuck with me, this memory. So when I first came to site, so they had, your tradespeople, your boilermakers, your fitters, all of that. You had your people coming in to do all the cleaning and all of that. So there was a large, it was pretty much all blokes. I think I was the only female, right? To the point that my manager who I was working for was like, oh, you can't go and share the males' toilets. Like, I'll do right by you and I'll go and get you a portaloo, because they didn't have any female facilities for me because I was literally the only female on site. So he went and got me a portaloo and stuck like a female sticker on it, and it was around the corner on the ground, like to this, what do you call it, like the toilet block that you get shipped in and out, those demountable portable toilet blocks that you get.
Yep.
So anyway, that was all cool, and I'd rock up to work and there'd be a giant shit in my toilet, And I'd rock up the next day and there'd be a shit on the actual seat in my toilet. And we're like, all right, this is fucked. Let's go and get a lock. So we went and got one of those sliding locks and padlocked it so they couldn't go in and shit in my toilet, because they were doing that because it was my toilet and I was the only female. So they went and did that on the night shift. I'd come in the next day on the day shift and find, them shitting in there and just being absolute fucking pigs. So
Wow.
we went and got a lock, and I rocked up the next morning to piss all over the door. All over the door, all over the lock, everything. So I had to physically put my hand in their piss to unlock the door to utilize my toilet. That's how disgusting they treated me. I was 18 years old at this stage, and this was my first introduction to mining. So I went, fuck this. I'm just going to go and piss with the fucking boys in the other toilet block. Fuck the portaloo. I just left it open and I stopped using it. So I'm like, if yous are going to be absolute fucking grubs and treat me like that, well, too bad if I see your dick. I'm coming in and I'm pissing fucking with yous. So I did. I'd just walk up and I'd be like, hide your dicks. I'm coming in to do a piss. You know what I mean? So that was
Oh
my
my God.
introduction to being an only female
Wow.
on site. And I remember these guys, one day he said to one of them, come up to me and he goes, oh, did you put on enough fucking makeup today or what? And I said, oh, what's it got to do with you, what I fucking do and what I don't do? How about you fuck off? And I remember all the guys looking and just looking at this fella going like this. And after that, I gained respect. That's how
Yep.
you gained respect back then. You weren't given respect like these days. You walk in and, you're the hottest thing and you get everything given to you. Like, you had to fucking earn it back then because you were the damn minority. I was the only one, and they treated you like absolute shit and put you through the ringer to the point that you had to come out fighting and telling them to fuck off and this and that and pissing with them because they'd just been absolute grubs. You had to pretty much fight your way and fight to a position of respect. So
Yeah.
I think that's what is different these days.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I've come from, and I've found it with the way that mining is these days. I've found it really hard to suppress or to alter that behavior now because it's frowned upon to tell someone to fuck off, or it's frowned upon to grab someone on the ass, or it's frowned upon to piss all over someone's fucking door. Do you know what I mean? And I've had to check myself a lot to be a little bit more softer and less blunt and less real, pretty much. You can't even look at someone the wrong way in the industry. You can't even side-eye someone because you're going to get the sack. That's how
Yeah.
soft and regulated and policed the industry is now compared to what I was accustomed to be the norm. So
Yep.
it's been a big transition, with the technology and things like that in the truck, but then also what you can and can't do and how you are to interact with your workmates as opposed to how it was back in those days.
Yep.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you ever experience anything like that?
Yeah, so I've experienced a few things. Nothing sexual, but I remember being in the crib hut and just making my lunch, and old mate sitting there saying to me that the only place for women is barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. And I just looked at him and I said, fucking what? What the fuck? It was an old bloke. So there was
Barefoot.
that. Wow.
Wow.
So there was that. Also, I experienced a fair bit of bullying throughout my career. So when I started in the industry, I was only a contractor for 12 months before I got a permanent role. And I worked with other blokes that were contractors. We were all going for interviews for the permanent roles, and I got one. And the guys wrote about me on the toilet walls.
Standard. I forgot
Yeah.
about all that shit too. Yep.
Yeah. But not like sexual things, wrote that, that I was a grub because I got a permanent job and all stuff like that. And so that was that was, yeah, not cool. Um, Also, I had an article written on me in a publication, and they ripped the page out, stuck it on the crib art wall, and stuck pinholes in my face.
I remember when now this is bringing back memories
Yeah,
for me. Yeah,
yeah.
right. That's
And
shit.
I just remember calling the superintendent on the two-way, and I said, "I'm fucking going home. I've had enough of this shit." And he come and got up in the truck with me, and he talked me through it. He's a really good guy. Um, and he just talked me through it. But still, like, I didn't do anything to, provoke that stuff. And now, like, 15 years later, I just look back and I think, like, those people that did that were just, like, so insecure, and they felt so threatened by me. And all I was doing was just going to work, doing my job well, and wanting to be better every day. And it was just shit. But I do have to say, like, there is some people in the industry that just take you under their wing, and those people are like the golden egg. And I've had a few of those in my time, and I really appreciate those people because I reckon that they got me through all that shit.
Yeah, there's some good people within the industry. It's not all bad. Like I know we're focusing on the negatives at the moment,
Yeah,
but fuck, you meet some legends within the
yeah,
industry.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, tell us a bit about that.
So, my biggest legends are a girl that first trained me when I was first in the truck. She knows who she is. She'll be listening to this for sure. Um, Big shout out to Chantel. Then my former bosses, so Jason and Peely and Wakey. They were people that took me under their wing, and it was a massive boys club. Like, I'm not, and you know what, it still is a massive
Yeah,
boys club, like, let's be honest, right? um but they were just always like solid. So they were solid to
yeah.
the males, they're solid to the females. um
They're just
you
good
know
people.
just really good people. They just want to see you succeed, and they're your people. It's like that thing that I always say, you got to find your people. They're your
Yeah.
people. um but then, there's also some females in the industry that have been really kind to me, and then there's been females that have been very unkind to me as well. So,
Mm,
it's just people in general.
it is. I don't think it's industry specific, but I think ours is more male dominated. That's the difference.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you think of female progression or lack thereof within mining? Do you think there's a difference between male and females in how they're treated and how their careers progress? What's your thoughts?
Yes. Yes, most definitely. I think part of it is that females lack the confidence and the support to progress their careers, so they don't know how to do it. So we already sit as a minority, so why would we speak up? Because we're just going to draw attention to ourselves. We already, you know, are challenged with ourselves, trying to do better and stuff like that. So yes, yes, most definitely. But in saying that, though, that Women in Mining program that I did, the mentoring program, that changed for me. So it helped me get a voice
Mhm.
for myself. So what I did was on my own bat. Um, but there's also, like, some women that are just do the wrong thing to further their career. So
Yeah, which is pretty
um,
rife. It happens all the time.
yeah, which
Let's
is
be honest.
it is so not cool. Hey,
Yeah, it's
like,
not cool for females like us that are there to work and there to be a part of a team. So do you think, regardless of those women, but the ones like us that are hardworking, just get in there, part of the fucking boys club, go and do your job and do it well, do you think there's a difference between the male and female career progression?
yeah, there still is. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
100%. Yep. I've
Becau
seen many of males progress quicker than myself. Like, you look at my partner, he is in a supervisorial role and he's been in the industry, what would it be? 5 years less than me. You know what I mean? So it can come down to a very thing. It can come down whether the supervisor likes you, your personality, your drive, this, that, and whatever. Let's not, disregard that.
Yep.
But I've sat there and I've watched men progress quicker and easier than myself. And to touch on last week's podcast is going, one of my goals is to become a supervisor or an OCE. And a part of that, you need to have a digger skill.
Yep.
And in my experience, it is so hard, especially in New South Wales, to get a dozer skill if you're a female, because of that old wives' tale that if you drive a dozer, you won't be able to have kids. Have you heard of that one? I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
you would have. Yeah.
Yep.
And they won't give you a digger skill without a dozer skill. Where up here in Queensland, completely different. The women are given a bit more of a go. Dozers are nothing. They don't care about that. There's people that have been in this industry for 2 years, females, and they've got given a dozer skill. So it's not as strict as it is down in New South Wales. New South Wales, yeah, pretty much you don't get any skills, nothing like that. You'll pretty much die in a truck for 7 years before you even get a water cart or anything like
Oh,
that. That's just how it
no.
is.
No, it's changed.
But
It's definitely changed.
in Queensland, easy. Any skill
Yeah.
that you want, it's easy to get. So they're the difference between like New South Wales and Queensland that I've seen. But that's also like a stopper for women that want to step up and do supervisory things and be an OCE, is that skills that you are required to have to then sit your tests.
Do you think that you need to be a awesome excavator operator to be a good supervisor, Bill?
No, they're two different things. Supervisors are about knowledge and people management. Excavator operators is about skill, how quick you are, how good you get the job done, and operating a bit of gear. They're two different things.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. I think the system needs to change. Like, I don't think that it's right at the moment with having to, have that, have the multiple skills to be a supervisor, because good leaders, like, have their operators be awesome and then they just lead the team, whether they can do the task or not. Yeah, I just think the system needs to change.
Yeah, they're definitely making it harder than it's ever been
Yeah.
to
And
sit
then,
your OCE course.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
what in Queensland, what do you have to do to become an OCE up there?
So OCEs don't really exist like they do down in New South Wales. That's another difference. So in New South Wales, you have to be an OCE to be a supervisor. So our supervisors in New South Wales are OCEs, unless you're a step up. And then you're a step up to then go and sit your tests and things like that. That's how it works in New South Wales. Here in Queensland, you do have OCEs, but they're just there to make sure everything is compliant. They don't manage people. They just drive around and make sure the pit is compliant according to legislation, where the supervisors are basically what New South Wales leading hands or step ups are. And all they have to do is do that S123, which I did the other month. That's all their requirement is. And they can sit in a supervisorial role like the OCEs down in New South Wales. They can sit in that role forever. They can go and do their OCE certificate, but the OCEs in the pit, I've only had experience with one pit, so it might be different in other pits in Queensland. But my experience with this one pit in Queensland is the OCEs don't manage any people, they don't manage crews, they don't manage anything. They're just there for compliance. And then you've got supervisors with the S123 managing crews and the day-to-day workings of a mine.
And so the listeners know, what's an OCE?
Open cut examiner. Yeah, so pretty much it's a really hard course that you've got to sit and you've got to go through all of this bullshit. It's not easy these days to get, but you also need to have like a excavator, X amount of skills, all of that. And then you've got to know legislation inside and out. And then you've got to sit in front of a panel and like answer questions in front of like a panel of people as well. It's not just a 1 day mining supervisor course like the S123.
Belle, what advice would you give to a female that wanted to get into the industry right now?
Make sure that you want to do it. Make sure this is what you want to do. You're not just getting in it to find a husband, which I've heard before. Women get in in the mines because it's just a buffet of men. So they get in the mines specifically to find a husband. I've heard that.
Wow.
Yeah. So make sure it's something that you want to do. Make sure you know what's involved. You know, it's not easy. It's boring, monotonous work. It's toxic. The dynamics, the crew, it's a dog eat dog. It's toxic. It's not a family environment. There is pits out there, and I'm not saying that's everything, but the majority is toxic. Make sure you know what's involved. Night shift. Have you ever done night shift? Do you want to do night shift 12 hours, sitting in this humming, dark thing that you're driving around for 12 hours trying to stay awake? It fucks your body over. It fucks your life over, like doing night shifts. It's not an easy thing. It never gets easier. You just learn to manage and deal. So make sure you know what goes into it. You know, if you want residential, drive in, drive out, FIFO, they all come with different perks and disadvantages, which we'll cover in another episode. And make sure, I reckon, that you've got the resilience, because there still is that old school mentality like we were talking about when we entered the industry. There still is a lot of that goes on, but it's all undercover. It's not out there in the open. It's all sneaky and things like that. So just make sure you've got a bit of a backbone, you're resilient, and you're willing to bloody work hard for it, and don't just think that everything's going to be given to you and you're only going to drive a truck for 6 months and, you know, you're going to be operating a digger. It doesn't work like that.
No, well, even for the blokes, it doesn't work like that. Like that's when people come into the industry, they think they're going to be upskilled like so quickly, and it's probably the industry that I have seen where it's the career progression can be very, very slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, but I definitely think that I agree with all those points. You know, you have to want to operate big gear. Yeah,
And
to
be
be in the
confident to do it as well.
absolutely. Yeah, you have to back yourself because it is not easy. It
And the
is not
amount of
easy.
like women that I've seen, like when I was doing my RTO training and assessing, and I was responsible for 300 trainees, the amount of females when I'd go and jump up in the cab to do their assessments and that, talk about like how they would cry and stuff because the digger operators are getting pissed off because they're not in the right spot and this and that and whatever. Like that's where that resilience, that backbone, that thick skin that you need to have is, because people aren't nice. People aren't going to pat you on the back and help you out. It's cutthroat. It's dog eat dog out there. And you need to be aware and willing to put up with that.
Yeah, and no one is ever going to tell you that you're doing a good job. They're always just going to tell you when you're doing a shit job.
Yeah, you never hear the good, you always hear the bad. Yeah, if you need that reassurance in life to tell you you're doing great, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, mining's not for you.
No. But if you want to get ahead and, you know, do it for X amount of years and you've got a clear goal and time frame and you're working hard towards it, go for it, jump in, go and purchase that house and get the fuck out. Sweet. Everyone goes in with different goals, ambitions and ideas. So just probably gear yourself up to learn as much as you can about it before you jump in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
recently I've seen a lot of like middle-aged women try to enter the industry, and I find that a bit mind-blowing.
Why is
So
that?
so these women, they've raised their kids and now it's my time. And
Mhm.
my advice to those women is now it's your time. Go and do some yoga. Probably not get into the mining industry because it is so hard. Like when you're a middle-aged woman, you have got to deal with your body changing and trying to stay awake at night and all those things that go along with mining. It is so, so tough. And if you've never done shift work before, I would really think that they need to have a long, hard look at what their goals are. Because I know
Yeah.
myself, if I was just starting out in the industry as a 50-year-old woman, I would probably, I would probably die after like the first week. Seriously.
Yeah. It's
It's
not
it's it
easy.
it's so not easy, is it? Like, it's fighting your body to stay awake is one of the hardest things.
And not to mention the effects of sitting down for 12 hours a day. Like, my hip flexors are fucked,
Yep,
and
it
they've been
is.
fucked
Yep,
for years.
yep,
You get in dozes, your back's going to be fucked. You're sitting in positions that's not natural, and, you know, f- physically, it's rough. It's rough
yep,
on your body,
yep. 100%.
let
100%.
alone being older and things like that. I'm sure that multiplies or, exacerbates that a little bit more than what it would a fresh young 20-year-old, you know?
Oh, yeah, oath. Bloody oath. It does. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, but in saying that, it's a good place to meet people as well. Like, the majority of my mates are in mining and I have met through mining. So when I was residential, it was awesome to meet people and connect with people, and you come out of it with such great friendships. FIFO's a lot different because people are scattered everywhere. You can't form that solid friendship because you don't live around each other. So residential mining's a really good place if you're feeling alone and you want to meet people and you don't know how, and it's something that is equally as important to you as earning money or whatever the reasons are you're going into mining. That's a good bonus as well if you're feeling that you're struggling to meet people and make friendships and form connections. Mining is a really good place for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of friends, is there a lot of your friends that you've met through work, and have you had any dramas working with friends or anything like that?
So I've got some really awesome friends. Um, and Janice, she's my friend. She's my mining buddy.
She's my
Um,
mining buddy too.
yeah, she is. She's everyone's mining buddy. She's probably one of my she is my bestest mining buddy because we started very early in our mining careers together.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm really stoked that she came into my life. And I value her friendship, but I've also had people that come into my life um, in friendships within mining, and then they've dropped off, or they've got a little bit unhappy with the way that I've done things. So I've also seen people turn on me within the industry, and that was has been a big eye opener for me.
Mhm.
So when I won the Women in Mining Award back in 2020, I was really good friends with this chick, and we were inseparable. And because I was trying to progress my career, and there is no doubt that I changed. I was trying to change. I needed to get out of the toxicity. So, yes, I was doing things differently. And I think that it offended her a little bit. She wasn't quite up for the journey with me. with what I wanted to do. And I lost a really good friendship during that period, which was really sad. But it made me see that when people feel threatened by you, or then they're not ready to jump on, your train with you or whatever, you just have to let them go.
Yeah.
Um, but that person like supported me throughout my mining career. But when it got to a point where um, I wouldn't choose her over my professional career, um, because of something that she wasn't doing that wasn't right. Yeah, she dropped me like a bag of shit. So yeah, I'm probably still bitter and twisted about that, but she
But
could
it
probably
would have been better for
oh,
you in the long run because she wasn't for you in the first place.
100%. And you know what? I'm grateful that it worked out like that, because I wouldn't be where I am today without having dropped her, because I would still be in that toxic shit that she wanted to remain in, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
had a similar experience with that as well. I met one of my besties and we were attached at the hip, and she did some pretty fucking shitty things to me. And yeah, we pretty much, the one time that I did something shitty, she dropped me. And I was like, I've been through so much with you and supported you and forgiven you for the shit that you did. And the moment that I fuck up a little bit, it's like, boom, gone. I'm not putting up with that. You know what I mean? So you've just got to sit there and realize that those people were never for you. Those people were only there for them to feel whatever they needed to feel from you.
Yeah.
Until you weren't providing that for them, it's like, see you later. They're not your mates. They're
Yeah.
not like you and I sitting here 16 years later as mates, never having a fight, never having a fallout, and just no matter what stage in life that we're in and no matter what's going on in life, we're still there. We're still backing each other. We're still supporting each other. We're still showing up in our friendship and maintaining the friendship
Yeah.
because we're there for each other. We're not there for our own selfish reasons of what I'm going to get from you or what you're going to get from me. And when that's not being provided, boom, see you later. Move on. That's a
Yeah.
them problem. That's not a you problem.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
I want to talk about women supporting other women in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a story, um a person that I know was like operating in the mine, talking on the two-way. Um, Another female didn't like what she was saying, and it was purely operational stuff. It wasn't anything outside of their job description or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the shift, the the female that didn't like what my friend was saying had a go at her in the bathhouse and wanted to punch her out. What the fuck?
It says more about that person, but I would honestly prefer that situation of her coming to me and fronting me and wanting to punch on than snaking me behind my back and running to HR and you getting repercussions through HR or losing your job. I prefer that bluntness. Let's fucking sort it out. Let's punch it out, whatever, than all this snaky fucking shit that's happening in the industry these
Well,
days.
yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of snaky stuff.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, can we not just be kind to each other? Like,
No, we can't. We
I don't,
can't. I can.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I know. I
But
just,
like I said, it's a
wow.
dog eat dog world and it's all fucking snaky shit. It's not like back in the day where it's like, I didn't appreciate this and wanting to punch on and fucking get it over with. It's all this snaky, underhanded fucking bullshit running to HR and, getting people having letters and getting sacked for dumb shit. Or
Yeah,
because you got fucking secondhand offended or you didn't like the way that someone spoke. Like, there's mature ways of handling things. I don't agree with how she handled it.
yeah,
She probably could have handled that a lot more maturely and had a conversation. a mature conversation of why she didn't like it and this and that, and your friend probably would have been reciprocated and been like, all right, cool, sorry, I'll take
Yeah.
that on board and I'll
Yeah.
adjust the way that I speak and the way that I
Yeah.
handle things or whatnot. She could have approached that a lot better, but I would prefer that scenario over what happens these days.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
100%.
I just remember when, like, back in the day, there was a guy that he, like an operator, he stopped talking to me. Like, and he was the excavator operator, and we had, like, 5 gun truckies that were under him all the time, and we had like the thing, we were like a team. Anyway, he stopped talking to me for some reason, and it was really hard for me. I was like, oh my God, why is he not talking to me? What have I done? And you could just feel the tension in the air. Anyway, so rather than being that sneaky person going to HR, I just went up to him and I said, what's your fucking problem with me? And you know what? You know what he said? He goes, I'm just fucking sick of females in the industry. And I said, no fucking worries. And after that, it was just like everything was clear because he had an issue with another female in the industry. And I didn't even know what that issue was. I didn't get into it. But because I like confronted him about it and called him out on his like behavior towards me, it just like it made everything clear again. We never were like besties or anything like that ever again. But, it was just,
It wasn't
it's,
about you.
it wasn't about me, but it's about having the conversation. Like, yeah, okay, what have I done? What's going on? Like, rather than running to, someone else and dobbing someone in, like,
Yeah,
let's
like,
just
come
talk
on,
it
we're all
out.
fucking adults.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all, you should know how to communicate by now.
Yeah.
Fucking start
You,
doing it.
you would think that. Yes, we should.
Did that resolve anything apart from your clarity that his issue wasn't about you? Did that change your relationship by you going up and fronting him?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, he at least started speaking to me again.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's a good takeaway. To be mature, tell people what your issue is, give them the opportunity to respond, and just fucking be supportive. Like, it's so cutthroat. And, when I got a loader skill, I remember when I got it, the guys that I thought were my friends, and we're talking about 50-year-old dudes here, the guys that I thought were my friends treated me completely different because I got given a skill. They turned their back on me, they knifed me in the back, they talked shit about me, they wouldn't talk to me, all that. And these are 50-year-old males, all because I progressed in my career. And that's when you turn around and you look and you're like, these are workmates, these are not friends.
yeah,
You need to realize that in the industry, they are your workmates, they are not your friends.
yeah,
Some are friends. Like I said, I've got amazing friends that I've met within the industry and still are friends with today, but you've just got to feel people out.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
always the quiet ones you got to watch.
I know.
Always. It's not the loud ones that you would think. What do you think about this? Do you think the more loud, outspoken, let's just talk about females, do you think the ones that are loud, outspoken, that are happy to go up and go, what is your fucking problem? All of that, do you think that they're more genuine than the ones that sit in the background, watch everything and don't speak and don't have any friends? Who do you think is more dangerous?
Yeah, the quiet ones.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not a quiet one, are you, Belinda?
No, I'm real. I'll go up and say, what is your fucking problem? And sort it out maturely. You know what I mean? I will never snake anyone in my life.
Yeah.
Hands
Yeah.
down. I'm too honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I cannot lie. That's not a skill I have, unfortunately.
And you don't want to.
No way.
Just be real, be supportive. Like,
Yeah.
I make a point when I'm at work to be supportive towards other women. If there's another woman that gets a skill, I'm like, good job, go sister, you're doing well, this and that. Be supportive, back them, because it's so rare to have that, to have other women supporting women.
Oh,
So you need to be that person that does that. You need to be the example and lead by example to support other women and spread that connection, that love, because you've got men coming at you. Why do you need women coming at you? Do you know what I mean? Why can't you just be supportive? Men
yeah.
and women, but especially women. Back each other.
Yep. 100% adjust each other's crowns. That's what I always say. It's
Yep.
so important to do that. We
Yeah,
already
that's it.
like we battle in our own minds. Like we work in an industry, right? We're the minority. So we go in, we're already freaking out, right? So then if we're not backing each other, who have we got?
Exactly.
Like,
And then we've
yeah.
also got other things going on, like our fucking menstrual cycles and things like that, where we're up and down. And, you know, one week we're sweet, next minute we've got our periods on night shift and we're fucking crying, eating chocolate in the cab all night. You know what I mean? It's different for us girls.
Ah, it
We've
is
got all
very
the ebbs and
different.
flows of our
Yeah.
fucking hormones, man. And we're sitting there doing night shift, which whacks you out even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're sitting with your thoughts for 12 hours straight. Like, not many people can sit with their thoughts,
It's
you
really
know?
dangerous. It's a really dangerous place to be.
If you've got something going on in life, you have to sit there with those fucking thoughts by yourself for 12 hours.
Yeah. And
You have no
yeah.
distractions.
When I was doing the onboarding, I would say to all the new operators, are you happy to sit with your own thoughts for 12 and a half hours? Because that's how it's going to be.
Yep. And what they say.
Yeah, well, they don't think about it. They, they were like, huh? What? Yeah. Well, no one, unless you've, an interstate truck driver or, a train driver or do a very monotonous job like operating, you don't understand what it's like.
No, not at all. You know? And
Yeah.
I don't get, like, you and I both don't have kids. So we can't really touch on the subject of juggling shift work,
Oh,
juggling rosters, as well as having children. Like, I can't imagine how tough that is and how
oh,
women do that. Like, kudos to them. Sister, you're doing great, because I don't know.
yeah,
Because I know damn well when I'm on night shift, don't talk to me. I'm just in my own little fucking zone. Don't call me, don't text me, nothing. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how they're getting up and taking kids to school or having kids running around the house, waking them up when they're trying to fucking sleep through the day and all of that stuff, co-parenting or being, going through dramas with their baby daddies and all of that sort of shit, Like, that's another element of being a female, especially if
Yeah.
you have kids, that you've got to juggle all these things and you're having all these ebbs and flows and you're up at different hours and all of that, as well as your mother duties. Like, that's a lot to take on.
Oh, I honestly, I don't know how they do it. Like, I honestly don't. And like, I was in the end, I wasn't even doing shift work. I was doing like just day work. And even when I come home, Maddie would just say to me, "Just go to bed. Just go to bed."
Yeah.
Because I was like not a nice person. Like
Yeah. And you're
fatigue,
not.
yeah, fatigue changes you, and you have to learn to learn about your body and learn how you respond to, lack of sleep and yeah.
What works best for you and what doesn't, and diets and this and that. Like, Monster cans are my blood because I rely on them so much. Do you know what I mean?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I pump
Oh
the
my
Monster cans, man.
God.
It was nothing for me to pump 2 Monster cans every night shift. And I think it has a disclaimer that you're only meant to have 1 per 24 hours on the back of the cans. I used to have to pump 2. I'm a bit better now. I'm heaps better now at managing night shift because I was working a different roster back then. It was the 4-panel roster.
Yeah.
So your 2 days, your 2 off, your 3 nights, pretty much your 1.5 off, then your 2 days, 3 off. It's that one where your body's always all over the shop.
Yeah.
Where when I went into lifestyle roster and 7/7, like night shift is a breeze. It's not a breeze, but compared to 4 panel, at least you can get into the zone. Especially 7/7, that's the best roster I've ever worked and the best for fatigue.
Yeah.
Especially on night shift, because your body's used to it. But then coming out of that, the 3 days after your block, you're not okay. That's your lull period, where that constantly changing and flipping and days on, days off, night shift, day shift. Like, I was pumping 2 cans of Monster, just trying to get through, and then still having to have a nap on my second crib break in the truck.
Wow.
Yeah,
So, can I
so-
just tell you something? I've
Hmm?
never drunk a Monster.
Why?
I don't know.
You're just
Why would I
naturally
need
high
one?
on life?
Oh, must be.
Fuck, give me what tea you're been sipping on. Fuck me.
Yeah, no. Don't do monsters.
Yeah, right. So how did you used to get through night shift?
Oh, the peppermint oil.
Oh, woo-woo. Did it actually work?
Yes, so this is a little
Fuck.
lesson for everyone. So, you know what peppermint does?
Yeah, it's an upper. I'm all about essential oils, don't get me wrong.
Well, it stimulates your hippocampus, right, in your brain. So it makes you more alert. So if you have a minty, that's why they have minties at training sessions, to keep everyone awake. If they're not being nice
Yeah,
to you, they want to keep you awake. So peppermint fisherman's friends, they were my friend. Yes, the peppermint oil on your wrist, or I used to have a little bracelet, but that's how I got through.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I would
there's a
always,
good tip.
I would always sleep on my first crib break, always.
First one, not the second one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, both.
Both. Can't work too well then.
I'm a sleepy person.
Oh, fuck it all. Sleepy person, but never had a Monster. That'll do me.
Yeah, no, good, thanks.
Yeah, maybe you should try it. Your world will change. You get so much shit done.
Rightio, I might get one tomorrow, see how I go. I'll stay tuned on that one.
Fuck yeah. All right. Anything else that we sort of missed or want to discuss?
I don't think so. Not for today. What do you
All right.
reckon?
No, I'm good. I'm good with that. So you want to end it here and we'll
See you all next time.
Yeah, catch you cunts.
Catch you, cunts.
That's a wrap on today's shit show.
But before you run off,
Make sure you follow the podcast
jump on the socials and give us some love.
and share this episode with the mate that should never be put on speaker.
We love ya.
We appreciate you. Catch you cunts.